25 for whatever we gotta say. Correct. Got it. All right, so I'm gonna be getting this mic in a minute. Let me see, we recording. And I'm gonna try to do the disclaimer from the
station. I thought you let me.
Okay, that's green CD. Okay. That's blue CD right there. Alright. Okay. Let me just make sure. Alright. We down to 2 minutes. Okay. So that will require me to push this button. I'll be on this mic. Green and green. Okay. Alright. You ready? Okay. Alright, we're about to go live in a minute. Alright. We're going live now, y'all. We serve only to open our airways to responsible, divergent point of views. Opinions expressed on Get in the Know radio show do not reflect those of WAVE staff, board of trustees, or other programmers. The opinions are my own views, those of my guest callers, and All right. It's your girl, Tree, with WAIF Getting to Know Talk radio show. Trying a little new thing on the mic today with my disclaimer. But my CD, or rather my jump drive, kind of cut it off. So let me go ahead and read that to make sure I do what I'm required to do, and then we can get into the show. WAIF Cincinnati, 88.3 FM. WAVE is your community radio station. We serve only to open our airways to responsible, divergent point of views. Opinions expressed on the Get in the Know show do not reflect those of WAVE staff, board of trustees, or other programmers. Their opinions are my own views, those of my guests, callers, and co-hosts. Hey, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hello, Cincinnati and beyond. Coming to you straight in your home and in your time zone. Once again, it's your host, Tree, joined by your co-host, John Love, on Get in the Know Talk radio show that's powered by the Joy Air Foundation, where we provide information for adapting and overcoming adversity. I hope y'all all doing well today, because if information is priceless, and actually if knowledge is priceless and information is key, then people plus knowledge equals solutions. It is time for us to get in the know. And like we like to start every show off, thanking our Father for waking us up today, getting us here to the show, getting us through traffic safely and all the things we had to go to do that. It wasn't eventful today, but I'm thankful that we made it safely. I'm glad that the Get It to Know crew is here with me safely too. And as we arrive in this day and we enjoy it, we're going to start off every show like we always do with the tribute to my baby girl, T. So let me play that tribute and I'll be right back after that. It's coming your way now. To the Junkyard Crew. Unbelievable was Tierra upon her birth, August 10th, 1988. Unbelievable, the Divine One chose me to be Tierra's delivery way. Unbelievable, Tierra's spirit is powerful. Her heart is pure. Her soul is unique. Unbelievable, now I'm touched by my angel. Tierra's love is in heaven for me. Unbelievable, our journey together, our downs, our ups, our lows, our highs. Unbelievable. Our journey together is eternity, mother-daughter love, the life. Unbelievable. Tierra, I pledge to you with tender love and care. Unbelievable, your legacy will shine. I dedicate to you your foundation, Joy Air. Unbelievable, through space and time, Tierra's soul flies free as it soars. Unbelievable, with Jesus in his keeping. Tierra, now your place is forevermore. Unbelievable, you always say I love you, and I always say ditto with all my heart. Unbelievable, now our love is in spirit, is our rainbow in the stars. Unbelievable, I love you. Unbelievable, baby. Unbelievable. I love that girl. That was my baby girl. I thank y'all for joining me every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Your listenership means the world to me as we journey through happiness, healthiness, and harmony and adapt and overcome adversity, becoming self advocates for our well being. And that means the world to me that you guys join me every Wednesday. You call, you text, you email. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the donations, the underwriting, everything. I'm just elated, and I only get an hour, so I try to squeeze it all in. And to my baby, I just want to say this shout out to her. Then we're gonna get to the show. Unbelievable, Teasy Weezy, Mama, love you, baby. We doing it. We couldn't do it without your spirit. All right, enough of the mushiness. I'm gonna move on now. I ain't gonna be mushy no more. Y'all know I'm transparent. So we're going to jump on into what today's topic is. And before I tell you the actual topic, we have this list of topics that's about maybe 2 sheets, about 80 to 100 topics on it that we prepared before we actually launched the show. The funny thing is, we really haven't been using the list to do topics for the show because everyday life has popped up around us so much, and the importance of talking about what's going on in those particular moments, we have decided that we've been going that way. So we intertwine the two, but we always try to make our topics relevant. So that's what spawned today's topic, and it is home sweet home, neighbors and landlords. Now, before we get into the topic, I'm gonna go to Black EB, let her say a little something. Y'all love say a little something. We can go in that order since I named it off, so y'all don't trip over the mic. So go ahead, Black EB, do a little shout out and tell them what you're working with today.
Hello, everybody. It's Black Evie on the mic. Just checking in with everybody. I got some nice information on how you can get along with your landlord, so that you can live peacefully and happily and with no problems, and you and your landlord can communicate successfully with no bumps in the road. So stay tuned. I got that coming up for you. And just remember, I'm here to help.
Wow. Okay, I can't wait to hear that. Go ahead, y'all.
Greetings, everyone. This is John Love. It's a blessing to be here today. Let's thank our Father today for waking us up today, to allow us to have another day, a successful day, a great day, a blessed day. So let's take advantage of this day. We have the opportunity to try it again. And I have a few things to say about our landlord and neighbor as well. And let's continue on with this wonderful day.
Amen, amen, amen. Wonderful day it is as we learn and grow and become a great tenant and a great neighbor. So, as we always do, we're transparent on the Getting to Know show. Um, so, let's start with what made the topic come to. Like I said, it's something that went on in our life somewhere that made us come to this topic. And this is a topic that affects everybody because we all have neighbors, at least neighbors. Some of us might own our houses, so we might not have landlords, but we all have neighbors. So I'm gonna speak from in a situation that went on with me, and then you guys can chime in, and then we can start getting some facts out to the people. But over the weekend, and then on the most worst day it could possibly be, my daughter's birthday was Saturday. Like, and we shared in that on the show last week. And that's a troubling time. I shouldn't say a troubling. It's a mental health hiccup for me. So I try to get through it as smooth as I can. And it did work out pretty well. I had the support of my Getting to Know core four friends and families, listeners, everybody. Thank you for all of your support. So I wind it down. I'm going to the Facebook page, putting up my last post. And I actually put it up at 12:28, August the 11th. I was a little late, but it was cool. And then I wound down to go to bed to get ready to go to church the next morning. And hot dog, if at 1 o'clock, I can't say what I really want to say, so we're going to use hot dog. At 1 o'clock, I had her name come outside, and she was just in a rage. And she stayed in that rage for 2 hours. So we well into the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock hour. And I'm sharing this. I'm not going to share names, locations, or anything because I have to reserve the right to protect people and my own self too. But I'm going to share the story because I'm transparent. Because all of us have neighbors and some of us have landlords. In the process of her behaving in that mannerism, it derailed my sleep. So my protocol is to follow what has been suggested by my own landlord in addition to call the police. I did both things. The police never came. I called them twice. But you will be happy to know that the police text me twice.
Text you?
They text me.
Wow.
Yes. They text me.
Wow.
Right. So at this particular point, I'm only left to do a citizen's arrest. And I do know the Miranda rights by heart. I won't say them right now. And I've done a citizen arrest before. So, and I am United States Navy disabled veteran. So I don't like to be having to be faced with confronting someone in a rage or even confronting someone about anything because I live in a apartment building. It is not my responsibility to do that. My concern with that is if I'm confronting somebody about something they're doing, it's putting me in the line of fire. Mm-hmm. So I did not exit my home at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to engage with that. My safety is behind my closed door. And, I was extremely disappointed, uneasy, didn't know which way to go, didn't know what to do. And eventually she calmed down and went back in the house. Or she just went back in the house. She didn't calm down. And throughout this whole episode, she was talking to nobody but herself. There was no one else around anywhere near her. And people started setting off their car alarms to try to make her shut up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how deep it got, right? So to me, that is an unacceptable behavior from a neighbor. Period, point blank. And for a resident to be able to reach the security of their building, I wasn't really happy with the way that worked out either. So that's what brought up today's topic. And I'm gonna tell y'all people, please listen. If you get yourself into a situation, or should I say, because I did not get myself into a situation, if a situation occurs around you and you're not happy with the response after you did everything you were supposed to do, first thing we need to do is write it down. And then after you write it down, submit it to all parties that are supposed to be involved. It's only one piece of paper, make it one sheet, keep it simple, make bullet points, and get your point across because writing things down is how things get resolved. Telling someone it's okay because you want to get it off your chest. But write it down, follow the channels of however your situation is set up with your landlord, if you submit a grievance. And also for me, I'm going to follow up with the police station too. Because effectively, after I talk to our bodies, I'm like, at the end of the day, if the police is not coming, security is limited, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to stay up all night and listen to this? Because what it did was it derailed my next day, which was Sunday, and it was supposed to be church. And it was some other things I was going to be doing too that I didn't get to do because I was too tired. And I don't take naps. So I ended up taking a nap. And that threw me off for the rest of the day because now I'm up all night. Mm-hmm. So that is the premises of why I chose this topic. I'm not trying to be a complainer about the topic at this moment. I wanted to lay it down because, of course, you know me. I'm going to follow up in writing and do everything. But I wanted to reach out to my listeners everywhere, Cincinnati and beyond, because, like I said, at the very least, we are all someone's neighbor, unless we just happen to live in the wilderness somewhere. And sometimes I wish I did, so it could be a little bit more peaceful. I actually dream of being on my back porch with some lemonade, looking out at the fields and everything. But I don't. I live in the inner city at the moment, so I have to deal with the inner city situations. But I like to stick it to Ja Love first and see how she want to weigh in on that. Then Black Evie will follow up with you, and then we'll start laying out some ways to be a good neighbor, and ways to communicate with your landlord, and ways to operate in case you're in a situation like I was in. But now it's Ja Love's mic. Go ahead, baby girl.
Well, actually, dealing with a situation like that, it sounds like no one came to your rescue. So we just have to bite our tongue, maybe cover our ears, put our earbuds in, a headphone, and try to wind ourselves down to go to sleep. Because there was nothing that you could really do about that. You know, you could have went outside. If you would have went outside, you probably would have been the one going to jail. Because your reaction wouldn't have been a nice reaction.
The police would have came in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And you would have caught the case.
Hello.
Instead of solving this problem, you know. But I've somewhat had dealt with a situation similar to that. But mine is dealing with parking space. Parking space. And it's like, it's not funny, but it's like, wow, I've been living in a certain area for multiple years. And my landlord and everyone around know where my parking space is at, where I park my vehicle at all the time, right in front of my house, directly in front of my house. And for some reason, this new neighbor, we had spoken to each other, we had conversation with each other. As a matter of fact, they parked next to my car quite a few times, so they know where I park at. But these couple of particular times, I left out, and when I came back, she's half in my spot and half in her spot. And I'm like, wow, is that being inconsiderate, or was she trying to be funny? I didn't understand. So I brought it to my landlord's attention, and the information got back to me is that when the landlord said something to her, she was very rude and disrespectful about that. How do you think? How do you think a situation like that should be handled? I'm not too for sure, but after so long, um, when she was in my parking space, I park a little closer to her vehicle, to the person's vehicle. You know, well, you know, it's a female, so I would park real close to the vehicle, and we would have to squeeze in and out of our vehicle to get it. We'll have to squeeze in and out to get in our vehicle. I know I'm saying this wrong. Bear with me for a second because my mind is starting to go blank. But yeah. So I was wondering about a solution. Should the landlord um, should the landlord make threats to her about her living there? You know, if she don't obey by the rules, that she may get evicted or get a warrant or get a fine. A lot of these things are very hard to come up with a good solution because there's no right way and a wrong way. But you got to be careful of trying to do it the right way so you don't do it the wrong way. And I'm saying that too to say, I really don't know what to do about that.
Well, I don't think that is something you're supposed to do. If your landlord, in my opinion, And let me tell my callers right now, we're speaking from experiences that we've had, and we're talking about opinions right now. We're going to get to some factual information of ways you can do it, but we're talking from our opinion. I like to let y'all know that. And then when we get to the vetted information, that's the way to do stuff, we'll identify that. But in my opinion, it is your landlord's responsibility. If your landlord established that as your parking space, then she needs to notify. Now, Black Evie, you can weigh in because we actually got a caller, so I got to get this call.
Well,
WAIF, you didn't know. Caller, what's your name?
I'm going to say, job.
LT.
I'm sorry that you're going through that because that is very petty.
Hey,
that is such a petty situation on this other person's part. That you even have to go through this, and I know that she's being petty. So
okay, well, hold up. You're not on the air yet. LT,
I can't tell you what to do with petty situation. However, I can't agree with Dimitri that your landlord should be handling that. Can you get reassigned parking? Can you get a new space? Like, it's options. Like, talk to your landlord, see what kind of options are there, because I understand you don't want to make waves where you live, and have a little drama. You don't want drama behind this. But something does have to be done. So, talk to your landlord and see what options there are. If there's another parking space, if this lady can be warned, we're not going to ask you again to be respectful of the people that are parking around you. But if I hear another complaint, you can't park here. Your parking privileges are revoked. There's options. So just try to get up with your landlord and talk about options so that you can avoid the drama of it all.
That part right there. That part right there. I don't want to stray away from this point, but I'm gonna put a pin in it for a second because we do actually have LT on the phone who wants to join into the conversation. LT, are you there? Hey, LT, you got 2 minutes to shoot some knowledge to us, baby. Go ahead. The mic is yours. Keep it clean. We regulated by the FCC.
Turn your radio down.
To about how you deal with a landlord and management when you would take purchase. We have security for reasons, buildings. But anywho, my particular problem is I lived here for almost 3 years, and I've been attacked by dogs. It's been terrible. Instead of management doing something about it, they making it worse. And I hate to say it, it's black people that's running it, and the way they running it is straight into the ground. And it's hard to fight someone when you are in a vulnerable state of mind. Like saying she's not feeling well that night. Like, where is the security or, just someone, even the police, but they text her. It's just redundant. Since I've been here, it had 531 calls made from this building that I live in. And not for me. I just went through eviction and everything like that, and won an eviction, and that's when they start harassing me, calling the police because the mail lady or them playing with my mailbox. It's just when you get to that point, you probably want to get in touch with home, but home doesn't do anything. The one that's off of Reading Road, across from the women's shelter. You could go there and make your complaint, if it's to the point where it's getting critical to where I am. But landlords, mad people.
Well, you got that right, LT. You really did. You dropped some knowledge on us And 721 Home, you said you had a bad experience with them. I appreciate you sharing that because that was one of the resources we were going to talk about on the radio show. So we would be able to tell our listeners that, when we do talk about that, you probably need to stay up and on them. Um, LT, I appreciate you sharing. That was lovely that you were able to put that all together in those 2 minutes for me because all of those things that you're going through are wrong. And the fact that when you went to a source to help you, you didn't get the help. So you stay tuned, LT, to the show. We're going to drop some other knowledge out here with other resources you might be able to reach. But I'm going to have to let you go for now because we got the callers calling in. But thank you for, we
Well, love y'all.
love
Love
you
you
too.
too.
All right.
Thank you.
Love my baby.
And you know what, Mitri?
Wait a minute, let me put your mic back on. There you go, baby.
Yes. You know what, people? It's so amazing how we really don't have someone who could really secure our safety net in these situations. And I I really don't like saying this, but I will have to say this. Um, since they since the law allowed people to be able to carry firearms, this is a big issue because when you reach out for help to multiple people who's supposed to be there for us, then we're gonna take the matters in our own hands. And when we take the matters in our own hand, then we at fault. But we done reached out several times and several times. And I really think the law it is not for us at the people for sure, but the law should give people chances to understand their situation. Try to put themselves in our situation of being in harm's way. How do we protect ourselves being in harm's way?
Sis, I gotta say something.
Go
You
right
just really
ahead.
spot. I'm sorry, sis.
Yeah.
If take your living situation, the people, the powers that be, the law, the landlords, and everybody else. I want to live in the same type of situation you do. If you didn't want to live in this situation, don't make me be here living in that situation.
Correct.
Without a doubt, I'm sorry, sis. It was a hot button. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Shake it up. Shake it up.
That's okay.
Shake it up.
Yeah, shake it up. But as I was saying, so how are we going to deal with this situation? Because we can't bring our firearm out and give a warning. Because when you give a warning, now you're bringing more harm to yourself. So that's called an action or reaction.
Exactly.
Action or react.
Yep, the reaction to the action, yes.
And that's a scary situation.
Yeah, if y'all tuned in for that particular show, React, Respond, and Reflexes, which is on the YouTube channel, I didn't want to react like John Love is saying. Like I didn't want to react to that situation, but effectively, the people that were supposed to be there helping me, they left me with no other recourse.
Right, but to react.
Just fortunately, I stayed in my home, and I have a dog, a service dog. So if I had to exit the building, the dog would have went with me, and the dog would have responded in protecting me.
Right.
And I don't need that on my plate. But don't get me wrong. I'm like what Steve Harvey said. I'm from the ghetto. The
yourself exactly of the conversation, and call what you call them, legal aid. Call legal aid and ask for housing, because they could give you some pointers on what to do and what to say and how to deal with this landlord. You know,
Actually, I have a tenant talk book that I'm gonna get to towards the end of the show that might be able to address that. But I would like to welcome Diana on the phone. She'd like to tell us what she's got to say. Diana, you there? All right, Diana, the mic is yours.
Hi, this is a really interesting conversation and something I think everybody needs to be aware of. When you're renting a home, if you go into court, they're going to say with the landlord is always going to be right.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, landlord-tenant laws yield toward the landlord versus the lessee. And yes, reaching out to legal aid, they have great resources, people who can help. And another thing people need to aware of, even if a landlord does not hold their contract of making sure things are repaired or taken care of in the apartment, you cannot withhold your rent as a result of that. Because the court will not recognize that as valid because you signed a lease to pay rent. And the biggest thing is you've got to educate yourself on landlord-tenant law. What seems to be something that we would normally say, you're not taking care of me, so why should I pay rent? Or I don't have the money this month. None of that will fly. I know for humanity to be nice, for people to be considerate, but for them it's a business. And it's unfortunate that we have these issues that come up. People have issues that come up where they can't afford it, and I totally understand that. But the landlord is going to win every single time.
Without a doubt, Diana, that was key and paramount, because we mostly live in a landlord state, and living in a state for the landlord, like Diana just said, is all about the landlords, and that's why this tenant talk book. Before we get off the air today, I will be covering how to get to that book, so you know how to be a good tenant. Now, Miss Diana, I appreciate you sharing that bit of information. Please stay tuned. Keep listening to us. I got some other callers calling in. And thank you for weighing in with that very important point, because the landlord will win.
All the time.
All the time. Thank you, Miss Diana.
Yes, and like she said, instead of withholding your rent, go to escrow. You could put your money in escrow until the landlord can fix or take care of the things that needs to be done. And once they get that taken care of, all the money that you have put into escrow still goes to your landlord. They would still get paid and you would not get evicted. But if you withhold your money and say, I'm not going to pay my rent because the landlord not going to do this and that, the landlord don't have to do anything but give you an eviction. And they will win in court, like she said.
They will win for sure. So at this particular point, we're going to play a PSA right now, and y'all stay tuned because we got a beautiful PSA about something coming up that affects our ethnic community. That PSA will be starting either next Wednesday or the following Wednesday. I'm going to tell you all about them. They're underwriting our show. It's the Black Myeloma Foundation Health Tree Organization. That will be our future PSA coming to y'all, but we're still setting that up. Like I said, that'll be starting next week. But this week I have a very informative PSA for you, so I'm going to play that now, and we'll be right back.
Sometimes we are alerted when a problem needs our attention. And other times, the alert is sent, but we don't recognize it.
Great show.
Would you know what to do if your heart was sending an alert? AFib may have symptoms, including a racing heartbeat, dizziness, lightheadedness, shortness of breath, or AFib may have no symptoms at all.
I got people.
Anyone can have atrial fibrillation at any time in their lives. And AFib is linked with a 5 times greater risk for stroke.
People just call it.
Wouldn't it be better to know?
So they gotta be this.
Yes, it
They
would.
got another. We
Commit
got
to
another
regular
caller. Hold on.
checkups.
Okay.
And if your heart is sending a message, listen. Visit heart.org/AFib awareness today and learn more about lowering your risks and living your healthiest life.
LT, you got somewhere else to say on the mic, baby?
Would you know what to do if your heart was sending an alert? AFib may have symptoms, including a racing heartbeat, dizziness, lightheadedness, shortness of breath, or AFib may have no symptoms at all. AFib is linked with a 5 times greater risk.
All right.
All right. Y'all heard that. AFib is something that can affect us all. I'm glad y'all were able to hear that because it's important about our health, so you stay in the know. Now, we got a caller back on the phone that wants to weigh back in with us, so I'm going to bring her back in and let her say what she got to say. You got it, LT? What you got to say after? You got 2 minutes. Wait a minute, baby. Let me.
So I just wanted to weigh in and piggyback on, legal aid. Legal aid really do work. And I was just in court July 19th, and we kicked a butt. And so they were unable, and it didn't have anything to do with money. So it's not always about the funds. It could just be they being indignant and rude and evil. And the thing I get out of that is pray for them. I have to pray for my enemies because I didn't encourage that. But at the time now that I didn't won the case, they still harass me. So it's just, it's not always about the money. And I know Miss Diane, they don't always win either. They do not always win because I'm a perfect example of it, especially when it's not concerning money. Money, probably, yeah, because you can prove that easily. But just off of ethics and unity, you can win. And I just say, stay blessed and trust in the Lord, and everything will be okay.
Amen.
And once again, I'll be calling in some more.
Thank you, caller.
All right, LT, thank you for calling in again. And stay tuned and listen to the rest of the show. I'm going to let you go now, LT, baby. Bye-bye. Later. LT brought up an interesting point after Diana weighed in. And Diana was speaking in reference to, which I agree to, if it's around money and you're going to court, you're going to lose. Yeah. And I think LT weighed in on the end of her conversation, and she said if it is around money, she did agree to that part. Yeah, it's going to be a loss. But in LT's case, if I'm listening right, hers was not centered around money. Instead, it was centered around ethics and other things, and she actually did win her case. And she won her case because she followed through. She put stuff in writing, and she did her research. And in those type of cases with ethics and nuisance neighbors and stuff like that, yes, I believe you can be successful because you're doing your part. But like Diana said, which I will 100% agree with, if it's around the money part of it and you're not paying your rent, and if your state does have escrow and you're not putting it in an escrow, you're going to lose. Remember that. You have to do your part and abide by that at least every step of the way. That way you protect yourself. Y'all know what you do, and I can't say it on air, but you do that. You CYA. You know what that means. So always, like Black Evie said earlier, read, and then read again. Check that up. Yeah. But before we get out of here, because we're getting down to like 15 minutes, I want to piggyback off of Black Evie, and I'm going to set myself on my little timer. Y'all should know now we try to time ourselves to make sure we can get stuff in. It's kind of fun because we had callers today and it's working smoothly. And planning and orchestrating stuff is the way you get things done and make sure nothing gets missed. So I'm transparent. I like to throw out tidbits when they come up. But we're going to go back to 721 Home. That's 513-721 Home. It was a resource that I was going to shout out because my personal experience with them years ago was actually favorable. But I believe LT shared that her situation with them was not favorable, and she got more ground running and even won her case when she went to legal aid. So, for sure, those two resources I will continue to pump out and make sure you're on your P's and Q's and follow through and stay on these people that's supposed to be helping you. 721 Home is you call 513-721 and then spell out the word home. Legal aid, Tyler, you got the number to that?
Yeah.
Legal aid, okay, I'll go ahead and read it off. Legal aid is 513-241-9400. So once again,
for housing.
And ask for housing. So you can skip over all the other things. And when you're calling and making these calls, have your little notes together. If you do like 5 little bullet points with a sentence above that, so when you're talking to people, you don't get stumbled on trying to tell your story. I know so many times when I try to go and tell my story from the dome, I just don't get the words out correctly. So I put notes in the Google Notes on my phone so I can refer to, okay, I need to hit these points with everybody I'm telling this story to. And not just in your tenant, landlord, neighbor thing. Practice that with everything you do so you always consistent. And also, I live by the KISS principle. That's KISS. It's keep it simple, stupid. I'm not calling anybody stupid. I'm just saying sometimes we just need to keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't need to be, oh, well, you know, when my grandkids was over here. I got a sister that when she telling you a story, you just be like, what happened at Kroger's? I didn't need to know when your grandkids came over and you parked the car and you went. Yeah, Black Evie know who I'm talking about. Black Evie knows. Right. So just keep it simple, stupid. I say that to myself all the time. Yeah, you do too, right, sis?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I'm going to keep it simple, stupid right now. How to be a good neighbor. If you guys Google American Family Insurance, I chose this one because their commercials always say something about how to be a good neighbor. So I pulled it down off the internet and just got a few little things I'm going to cover right here because we got to wrap the show up in a minute. So how to be a good neighbor. They say offer more than a welcome basket. In the ethnic neighborhoods, we probably don't do it like that, but maybe be helpful with your neighbor, maybe where make a needs know list for your neighbor, tell them when the trash day is, tell them the closest grocery stores, little things like that can help out your neighbor and welcome your neighbor to the neighborhood. But you have to be conducive for the community you live in. Stay safe doing that because some people don't want to be bothered. But if they outside and you speaking, and y'all talking, engage. Like, hey, did you know the Kroger's was up there, or they getting the Publix in Kentucky now? That's a great grocery store from Georgia. I just had to put that out there because they really are getting the Publix, and I'm really happy about that. Okay, I went down a rabbit hole. Back to the topic: how to be a good neighbor, right? Maintain your curb appeal. I think Diana might have hit that too. You know, in some sort, she mentioned about, I forgot exactly what she said, but maintain the curb appeal, meaning that keep your house clean, keep your area together. That was Black Evie was saying trash neighborhood. Yeah, that was Black Evie that covered that. So
it's trash.
Right, pick up your trash. Don't throw your chicken bones out, and then my dog trying to eat your chicken bone. And that really happened to me. And I had to snatch the chicken bone out of my dog's mouth. I'm like, oh no, right? And the next one is be a mindful pet owner. Clean up your dog's boo-boo and all of that. You know, keep your dog on a leash. I think LT covered that. She had an encounter with a dog. Your dog needs to be on a leash when you are walking it. Because you might have your dog under control, but other things in the neighborhood might draw your dog's attention. Like other dogs, like my dog likes to take lizards and beavers, because we have beavers over there where I live at, because we have a creek that runs through there. So take control of your pet. Know your property line. Know what space is yours. Y'all know how to do that. You know what part is yours, especially if you own a house. And if you don't, you have the property line people that can come out and help you and your neighbor both understand what that is. Fence etiquette. Stay on your side of the fence. Okay? Don't let your yard grow over into your neighbor's yard. And then they got weeds and they don't want weeds. Follow the community rules. If you live in an HOA, please follow the community rules or you will get in trouble. But, be a good neighbor that way. Keep the noise down. This is the one I really wanted to say. Don't walk around the parking lot at 2 o'clock in the morning screaming and hollering. Take that in your house and call the mobile crisis unit or something. And the last one is handle conflict peacefully. I could have went outside and acted like a jungle buddy like my mama used to say, but I didn't. I tried to follow all the recourses that were provided to me, and I'm going to continue to follow up accordingly. I'm not going to get myself in trouble. But here's another good resource called Tenant Talk. It addresses how to be a good tenant, how to handle your landlord in situations that are sticky. It has like a plethora of information in abundance, and I couldn't even cover it all on the show. But it's the National Low Income Housing Coalition. And their website is www.n as in Nancy, L as in Lima, I as in Indigo, H as in Home, C as in Cat.org. NLIHC.org. Tenant Talk. If you can't remember that website, just Google Tenant Talk. I'm telling you, as tenants, and even as a neighbor, this is a really important resource to know how to cohabitate with people around you. Unless you live in Montana, out in the beautiful range of all of those that space where you don't have neighbors. If you live there, you're cool. But if you live in the inner city, we have to learn how to cohabitate peacefully. So we're gonna wrap up the show. Black Evie, I'm gonna start with you. Okay. Black Evie, I'm gonna start with you. I'm putting you on the timer we're trying to use, and you get 1 minute. Let us know what you got to say, baby.
All right. What I got to say is I'm gonna give you a couple more tips in reference to that good relationship with your landlord or property owner, and then I'm going to give you the community highlight. I just got one. I only got time to get one in. All right. So, as everybody's been saying, the callers, Mitri and Jalub ask for help. All right. They've given you quite a few resources on how to ask for help when you're dealing with situations where you need help with your landlord or property owner. Be patient, all right? Very important. Be patient and give your landlord / property owner a fair amount of time to complete the task that you need completing in your home, on your property, okay? A fair amount of time. Don't let it rock on and rock on. Don't have to keep asking and asking. But once you ask, something may take 2 or 3 days, something may take a week, but give that fair amount of time. And last but not least, as Mitri just ran down the list, be a good neighbor. Please be a good neighbor. I don't have to go into that. She just went down the list. Now, let me throw out the community highlights.
Let's take it up with community highlights, baby.
Okay, and this is community highlights, just one. It is going to be happening at the Greenwich Tavern, okay? And that is located at 2442 Gilbert Avenue, all right? And this is going to be for the adults here, and this is going to be a blackout birthday bash, all right? This is Saturday, August the 17th It starts at 9 p.m., 21 and up, free entry, no strict attire. There will be performances, a few performances, and this is presented by Daryl B. It is his birthday, and this is his party weekend, and we're gonna join in on the party. So there again, that's going to be Saturday night at 9 p.m. at the Greenwich Tavern. You all have fun.
All right. Let's take up Daryl B. Happy birthday, baby. Yeah. Happy birthday. All right. I'm going to pass the mic to Jala, put her on the minute timer. There we go, baby.
Well, I would like to weigh in on our neighbor. As the Father say, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And my key word of how I raise my children is treat others the way you want to be treated. If you want to be loved, respected, and honored, you got to treat others the way you want to be treated. So don't expect someone to treat you fairly and you being rude and disrespectful to them. So you give out the energy you give out is the energy that you will receive. And this is through the scripture, as the Father say, love your neighbors as you love yourself. And don't be knocking on your neighbor's doors talking about, can I borrow this and borrow that? And when they in need, you're not going to help them. And if you're not able to help them to return the favor helping them with their yard. If you can, help them with their trash. You know, we could pay each other back in many ways, as long as we being respectful to one another and to ourselves as well. And like Mitri say, I am a dog lover. For who do know me, yes, I know we train our dogs very well to where they walk by our side and will not bother anyone. But you got to remember, they are called dogs.
Roof, roof.
And dogs will chase a squirrel, bird, and not only that, dogs could feel energy that we don't feel. Someone could be walking past us and their energy is just off. And our dog may attack because they want to protect us. And we don't understand why they are attacking, because we don't feel the same energy and we don't see the same thing that they see. So that's why it's very important to keep our dogs on leash. And for the rest of the day, y'all, let's have a blessed day. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it real with ourselves. Love on ourselves. And let's breathe.
Breathe.
Yes.
That is Jala's go-to, and it's important because if you stop doing it, you won't be able to listen to the show anymore. Okay.
So make sure you breathe in your nose. Breathe in that good fresh air through your stomach and hold it for a couple of seconds, and then breathe out your mouth and relax. Until then, you all have a blessed, safe, wonderful day, and we will talk with you all next week.
All right. Before I get out of here, let me put down some facts for y'all. And every Wednesday, you can always call into the show at 513-961-8900. I mean, yes, 513-961-8900. Once again, I'd like to thank my callers for calling in today and sharing their personal stories and giving us some valuable information to overcome adversity. Before we get out of here, if you guys want to keep us on the air, y'all can always join by giving a donation at waifradio.org, or you can mail it in at 1434 East McMillan Street, Cincinnati, 45206. 45206. My 06 got messed up. But nevertheless, you mail it in or donate at waifradio.org. Just remember to put Get in the Know radio show as the show that should get the credit. And if you want to get any information that we talked about on the radio, hit me up at this particular email address, thejoyairfoundation@gmail.com. That's thejoyairfoundation@gmail.com. Joy Air is JOYAIR. Every donation of $25 and above gets a Getting to Know gift set that includes a candle that me and my daughter made together because we extract and infuse. And I got a few candles left that I want to give out to y'all. Well, that's all I got time for, folks, today. But this has been a beautiful show. We got a lot of feedback and learned a lot. Y'all tune in next Wednesday. Y'all at 1 o'clock. Same time, same back channel, 88.3 FM Cincinnati, or WAIFradio.org. Until then, rest peacefully, and like John Love said, breathe. See y'all. Peace.
One love.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just checking out something because I don't think that. Okay, hold up.
Who wasn't on?
The studio wasn't on. He got my garbage.
Huh?
Because I think he hit the tape. Let me see what his button is.
So which part you think got knocked off? Or
Just the last part of it. Yeah, because let me see.
You wasn't on there?
I don't know. She about to go see because she thinking that he cut us off and started his.
Right, and that's not acceptable because that meant that I had 1 minute left according to that phone. I usually watch that mic, and I was off the air, so I'm about to address that now in the middle of his show.
Oh gosh.
Yes.